Now, an anonymous Twitter troll has agreed to pay Stephen Nolan a six-figure sum in damages after making defamatory remarks about him over a series of months.
Yeah, Stephen traced the identity of the individual who was behind the online campaign. Much of the unfounded accusations were posted using the username Pastor Jim Baru or related accounts a bit like that. The account has since vanished online, and Stephen Nolan is here to talk to us about it.
Hello, Declan.
Good to see you. When did this start?
Oh my goodness, that's a good question. I think it started at the beginning of the year. I think
2021.
Yeah, but it was on a daily basis. Like, this guy was obsessed. That was part of it. So this was not one or two tweets. This was waking up every day. Then after, you do your show every day. Then at night before you go to bed, this guy's trying to hurt you. This guy's trying to harm you. He's making up lies about you. And the more he knew people were paying him attention, then the more he tried to hurt me.
You can't do what you have done for the last however many years without developing a thick skin. What set this guy apart? Why did he get at you so much?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I do have a thick skin, and people are absolutely entitled to question me, to fairly criticise me, to say they don't like me, to comment on the Nolan show. That's all fine. But let's remember what this guy did. He was spreading malicious, vile lies about me. I'll give you an example. He was suggesting that when the police were being attacked, Declan, that he was retweeting that I was enjoying that. And he suggested that I funded a paramilitary. He called me Radio UVF. And I do genuinely think that he got to the point where his daily obsession was destroying me. So that's what set it apart.
He felt it was destroying you, or it was destroying you?
No, it wasn't destroying me. But
I'm wondering whether your objection to it was a kind of a principled objection that you can't be saying that stuff and not get pushback, or was he starting to kind of get in there a little bit? Was this starting to cause real upset?
I think you've got to be able to take a certain level of abuse when you're doing what I'm doing. We've got a controversial show, and it's on every day. That's not what this is about. Did I find it scary at one stage? Yeah, I did. Because at the end of the day, my employer stood by me. The BBC stood by me because they were judging me on the truth and the facts, and I'm deeply grateful to them for that. But at the end of the day, he was whipping up this frenzy of attacking me based on lies. And when you are going home at night and you know that there is someone out there and all they're trying to do is harm you and hurt you, did it get to me? Yes, it did. Did I find it scary sometimes? Yes, it did. And it was only at the point when I decided enough is enough.
What was that point?
It was at the point where it got to the stage where I felt helpless. And I don't feel helpless in my life. It's not how I run my life. I don't feel helpless. And I felt helpless because the law couldn't protect me. The criminal law couldn't protect me. And so I decided, you know what? I'm going to fight back. And that sense of empowerment that I had when I then did fight back. Now, the scary thing, I think, here's my view. So I had a brilliant employer standing right beside me, the BBC. And I had an international lawyer in Paul Tweed who does this every day.
But you also have
the people that don't.
But you also have personal resources that allow you to kind of throw money at this problem, to be blunt. So you mounted your own investigation, essentially.
I did, yeah.
So,
and I sent one of my guys to his door, to rap his door, to hand him a file that was as thick as an Amazon package with the abuse that he had levelled to me every day.
How did they find him?
Because I'm trying to track down, and I am going to pursue a number of others, I'm not going to, reveal my tactics.
Well, who is he? And I know you're not going to name him because you've agreed to name him. I'll ask you why. But can you give us a sense of who this individual? I mean, we know it's a guy, but is he a professional? Is he middle aged? Is he a young person?
Sure. So The irony here is this guy wants me to be honourable and keep my word, which I will do when he acted completely differently, but I will. So I will not reveal his identity, but I can tell you that he is a professional person with a very respectable job that sits in the middle of this community with lots of people around him, and, you know, proper house, proper job, family around them. And, you know, the mind boggles as to why he felt in his life he needed to be so vicious against me.
Do you know, have you ever met this individual?
Not that I know. No.
Do you want to?
Sorry?
Do you want to?
Oh, I would love to. Oh, I would love to. Would I love to? I was tempted to hand the legal stuff to him myself, to wrap the door. I was very tempted. I would love to look at a guy like that and say, how did you become so twisted and so warped that, you know, lots of people have perception of us because of the job we do, and they probably have perception of me because of the Nolan show. I'm trying to hold down a job, and that's all I'm trying to do. And I'd love to front up to him. I'd love to.
Now, you've agreed not to name him. Just in a sentence, why?
That was a very, very fine judgment call. He was so vicious and arrogant in his false Twitter world, but as soon as he knew that I knew who he was, he completely crumbled. So he started saying that he had personal security worries. He has a wife. He has a family around him, and I don't want to wreck somebody.
Okay.
I don't want to do that.
You've described him as a professional with a good job. Is he the kind of guy who will find a six-figure sum for damages easily, or do you care?
You know, the important thing for me, I don't know. The important thing for me is to send out a very, very strong message that if you are intent on sitting as some type of, you know, if you get off on abusing people, you will be tracked down and you will have a high price to pay. And, you know, Declan, I think that there are journalists, as you know, here in BBC Northern Ireland who are suffering abuse, and all they're doing is doing their job. There are newspaper journalists, like brilliant journalists like Alison Morris from the Belfast Telegraph, Ben Laurie from the Newsletter, who are getting abused, and it's got to stop. And then there are the politicians, like what Arlene Foster goes through, Carla Lockhart from the DUP. It's unbelievable, and it needs to stop.
You mentioned Arlene Foster. It's not so long ago we heard of her defamation case against Dr. Christian Jessen, which she was successful in. She was awarded £125,000. Is your settlement in the region of that?
Yes.
It is. So it's kind of low six figures, as it were. Or
yes.
Do you want to tell us what it is?
I'm happy leaving it at a six figure sum, but yes, it's low six figures. And by the way, if I had gone to court, I would have been looking a lot more, because this guy, you know, I don't know. I just want lots of markers that what he did was unacceptable. You know,
I don't know. I'm going to be fully transparent. I don't know whether I would ask this next question if there wasn't so much debate around you and your income. But
sure,
the reason I'm going to ask the question: are you going to keep the money?
Yeah, I am. I make donations to charity. And I don't tend to make that public. And if I do give any of this to charity, I certainly won't be making it public. You know, I'm happy that what I give is done behind the scenes, and the people who get that money know they get it. It's not going to get involved in this situation.
And you're not finished then. There are others who continue to defame you, as you see it, online, that actually now you've got an MO that you know you can find them, you know you can track them down, you know you can build up a dossier of evidence against them. Are there others? I
think this is well beyond. Well, to answer your question, there will be a settlement announced tomorrow with a second individual, so that will be announced tomorrow. There are two other cases that are front and foremost in my mind where we're scheduling court action against them. When I say enough is enough, it is enough.
So
I'm going after people.
Just to be clear, you have settled with another person. Is
have, yeah.
is that for six figures as well?
No, it's not.
Okay, less.
Yes.
Okay, and there are two that you're planning to go to court with because they're refusing to settle with you.
We're scheduling court action against them. The court papers should be delivered to them once Paul Tweed gets them ready, and it's up to them whether they want to settle or not. I would enjoy my day in court. I would actually enjoy, fronting these people up, looking into the whites of their eyes, seeing them explain why they did what they did. I actually would get something out of that, because you feel hopeless. You feel powerless. You feel like you've got your arms tied behind your back, and there's somebody just constantly punching you, and you don't know who to hit back at. That's when these trolls are doing this, and it's over.
Thanks for speaking to us.
Thank you, Declan.
Stephen Nolan.
Thanks a lot.